Gotta love technical problems on startup, everybody. But I got them solved, I think. Put a one in the chat if you can see and hear me. I am back, everybody, streaming every single day. That's 21 days in a row. Kismet knocking it out of the park, everybody. Trying to rest my voice off stream because, dang, man, I've been streaming a lot. That's like 200 hours, everybody. I think I just crossed 200 hours as well. So pretty amazing. I told you I'm going all in this year, everybody. If you're enjoying the stream, again, put a one in the chat. Let me know everything's working. I'm pressing a whole lot of buttons. We're going to play ourselves some Satisfactory right over here. I was trying to get all my chats working. I got like 6 chats to get working going at the same time. They all combine together so I can see you guys no matter where you're watching the stream. And I appreciate everybody, whether you're watching on Twitch or YouTube or wherever you're watching. I do appreciate you big time. This is quite the giant production, everybody, every single time. I do this stuff at a level that I think very few people do, or very people would understand, because it's so technically difficult to keep it running. It's not technically difficult to probably set it up, but to keep it running is very difficult. That is for sure. Let me get my microphone. It's technically difficult to get my microphone in the right position. I don't like my microphone to be right here. So many people have their microphone like right here in the shot. I'm a loud person anyway. When I just let my voice go to its normal volume, which is this, I'm fairly loud naturally. And see, sometimes when I'm talking like this, people think I'm yelling at them because I have a naturally strong, loud voice. Most of the time, I bring my voice down like this. This is me purposely bringing my voice down to a lower level, so it makes people comfortable when I'm talking to them. So I'll bring my voice down, but when I don't, see, it goes right back up like that. When I don't actually make an effort to bring my voice down, it is much louder. So I think I'm good. I don't need the microphone right up here, really, really loud in your guys' ears. So there you go. So again, been streaming every single day, 21 days in a row, over 200 plus hours. Let's go see where I'm at now, everybody. I mean, I'm crushing it. Considering I was off for a week at the beginning of the year too. If you think about that, that's pretty crazy as well. Let's go see. Right now, it is 211 hours. Wow. All right. Yes, 211 hours streamed just this month, everybody, just since the 7th as well. Thanks, everybody, for coming over and hanging in the stream. We're going to have a really great night tonight, everybody. We're going to use our ultimate power, and that is time, both in life and in game, everybody. It's your most precious resource that you have, and spending it the right way and being super efficient, whether it's in game or in life. That's what we're going to work on today. Using your time for the most wisest thing that pushes you forward in life, everybody. And that's what I've been doing a ton of. Really using my time wisely now, trying to use it on things that push me forward here, and on the stream or in my life, again, trying to get much healthier. I think this is the big push time, everybody. This is 2025. We're going to do the big push for the double nickel, the 55 years old, coming up in June. And again, I think it was my 50th birthday, I did a slip and slide and I hurt my shoulder. It still hurts to this day, by the way. When I work out too much, I can still feel that muscle tear in there. But better to work it out than to leave it to get stiff, which sometimes does happen. And just working on my health in general, everybody. Walking more, getting more steps in, trying to get stronger, working on my mental health as well. Just focusing on the positive things, not all the negative things that do happen in life. There's a lot of negative stuff that happens on the daily that I just have to deal with. Things breaking, financial problems, we got to pay for this, got to pay for that. It's like a constant stress that I've been under for like 20 plus years, everybody. When you have children and you have a family, you're in this constant stress and anxiety of just trying to get by every single month. Me and my wife and my family have just been getting by. You know how it is, everybody. With me being sick, even worse. because it's so difficult for me to do anything, everybody. So I don't think anybody really understands, except for some of you who have been through the same thing, who really understands how difficult it is to just do the most basic stuff, like walk to the bathroom or go up and down stairs, or just the most basic thing that you try to do when you're sick and when you're ill all the time and you can't sleep and you have a problem being dizzy all the time like me, and when you go to sleep, you could just not wake up, so you have that anxiety of that all the time, because most of my doctors told me I stop breathing when I go to sleep, so one of these nights I'll just go to sleep and that'll be it. So every night I just think, all right, well, we'll try to get one more day tomorrow, and here we go, one more day. And one day, that'll be it. One day, there'll be no more tomorrow for me. But hopefully there'll be lots of tomorrows for all of you, everybody. Again, I'm trying to get as many todays as I can get. So I just get up, do as much as I can, which I did today. I try to rest my voice off stream again, because I do commentate a lot on my stream, which I really enjoy. I really like to let you guys know my thought process, how I figure things out. I think that's where the magic is when you're watching streams, is to understand where the other person is coming from, why they're doing what they're doing, not just what they're doing, but why they're doing it. That's the real value, is why. Some people just show you, oh, I did this. And you're like, well, why'd you do that? What was the point of it? Why were you grinding in Throne and Liberty? Why were you doing the thing? Why do you have certain sets? Why do you have skill sets like this? Why do you have these weapons? Why do you have all of that? And I think this is going to be our year, everybody. We're going to really go at it. I know I am. I'm going to go at it. I'm going to sell every last thing I have, too. Try to pay down some of these debts that my family has accumulated. Not my fault, everybody. Not my fault. I didn't spend all that money. I didn't spend it all. Well, I did kind of spend it on my kids when I took them to Hawaii. I did spend that money. Well, really, they spent the money, but I spent the money on them. I got to really clarify that. They bought a lot of things and bags and clothes and stuff like that when we went on that trip and whatnot. And I really did it for them so that they would have like an amazing moment in their life. They could go back and remember of their old papa. And if I talk about it too much, man, that just got me emotional. Ooh, that just hit me hard there. That they can think back and say, that was amazing. That was an amazing thing that we went and did. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, everybody, we did the One Last Wave project where we went and surfed in Hawaii, everybody. Pretty amazing. We couldn't stay there very long, though. We stayed there for like 2 days, and we had to get out of there because it was too expensive. And I tried to do a stream. I tried to do my birthday stuff and all of that, and a lot of that stuff went off the rails, everybody, like it always does. It's so difficult to just do something as planned in life. It's always going off the rails. You're always having these struggles that you have to do, problem solving you're doing. I was trying to fit a lot of stuff in because, I don't know when I was going to be able to go back and do that again. That was so difficult for me, everybody. The traveling was super difficult. The walking around was super difficult. I was even driving because my wife doesn't like to drive in LA. So I was driving, which was the terrible idea, an absolute terror. I realized it way too late that I should not have been driving. That was incredibly dangerous because, again, I have a really bad dizziness, especially when I'm under anxiety and I'm under a lot of pressure, which I am all the time, just because I see the bills, everybody. I see the bills. I know what's going on with the bills, just trying to survive. Every single month on my family, and then also just trying to survive here on the stream every single month and try to build it up into something. You know what I mean? That's what I've been trying to do. Build it up into something. Maybe one day I'll get me a big epic sponsor like Origin, and they'll say, hey, Kismet, you want to give away a PC? And I'll be like, yeah, let's give away a PC to my community. That's the kind of level I'd like to get to. Where I have 200, 300, 500 people in the channel, maybe 1,000. And we just have a good time. That's it. We don't have to, it doesn't be more than that. We just have a good time, play some games, have some fun in the chat kind of thing. That's kind of my goal. And I feel like the better my health, the more of that I can do and the more videos I can do, because I love doing videos, but they are absolutely exhausting and they're also sometimes very discouraging. So, if I spend, and sometimes I do, 6, 10, 20, 40 hours on a video and then 20 people watch it. And really, those are the people I want to watch it, but still, it can be very discouraging that you spent 40 hours on a video and then 20 people watch it. So that part of doing it is the toughest part. It's the struggle part. And it comes out of your time, which again is your most precious resource. But I'm one of those people, everybody, that's relentless. I never give up, ever. I never give up on anything, ever. I just go and go and go, and that's how I've succeeded in everything I've ever done. I've gotten amazing jobs. I've worked for the top companies in the world because I'm relentless in that pursuit of trying to do my best of whatever it is I'm doing. I don't care if I'm a janitor, everybody. I'll be the best janitor you ever had. If I'm flipping burgers, I'll be the best at flipping those burgers. Or the guy that does the pizza boxes. You ever seen that where the guy does the pizza boxes really fast? Or they do the stacking of the cups? If I wanted to be good at that, I would try to be the best in the world. Now, would I be the best? I don't know. There's probably some pretty good people out there doing stacking pizza boxes. But I would try. That's the thing. It's in the trying and in the doing that is where the magic is in everything that you do. And here on the stream, I just, go to the nth degree. I got the 6 monitors, the dual computers. I got all of that. I really spent a lot of time, and I buy only things that push forward the stream. I don't buy it because I want it. That's like you don't see me have one of those little slide audio things, the XLR thingies. XLR is like from the 70s, everybody. You don't need XLR microphones. I mean, you can say, oh, well, it gives you the best quality or whatever. Yeah, whatever. Just USB microphone would be more than enough for any stream. Now, of course, if you're a professional musician or if you're doing like high-level videos, well, I can understand it. But that stuff is, I don't need a little thing that I can control the volume. I can do it right there in OBS, and it's just fine. I have different sources, and I control those each sources right in OBS. You don't need one. I mean, you can have one just because you feel good about it, and it says, look at this, my cool setup. But I only buy things that actually help the stream push forward. So that's what I love to do the most is bring a little joy and positivity and then share my experiences and stuff like that. And then, get your guys' experiences and what you guys like and that kind of thing. That kind of two-way conversation that happens here on the stream, which I really like. MD Story coming in, showing some love. What's up? Thank you for that Twitch Turbo as well. I saw somebody at the top of the stream here. I have to scroll back. My chat thing wasn't up yet. Dragon Wolf at the top of the stream, and also Paul, thank you very much for coming in. I was having a problem with my chat thing. I had to do it multiple times and finally got it working. Rotisserie J, because, you guys are my most important thing, by the way. Of all the stuff that I do, it's my chat that's the most important thing because it's the thing I love the most. It's the thing I love the most about streaming, even more than the gaming part, and I've been gaming for 50 years, is you guys in the chat, just saying hi, seeing how you guys are doing, watching you guys bring in the Kismet Love Train, talk to each other in the chat. That's where the real magic is of streaming, I think. That's where the magic is, that interactivity, that part of saying hi to everybody, seeing new faces and faces that we've seen many times in the chat, which I appreciate. Speaking of, that's Mr. 9 to you. Thank you for coming in, showing that love lurker train. Always great to see you, man. I appreciate you. Wiz coming in with a 1 as well. There we go. Rotisserie G coming in with the 1. Mr. Daniel with the love lurker train with the 1 at the end. I like that. Very nice. Dragon Wolf with the 1 as well. MD Story. Look at all you guys with those Twitch turbos. Hey, way to go, everybody. I appreciate you guys taking my suggestion and going and getting that Twitch turbo, and then you don't have to watch any ads. You help every single streamer on Twitch that you're watching. I greatly appreciate that, big time. DJ Bass coming in. Wow, it's been a while since I watched your stream. Glad to see you still streaming and being awesome. Oh, well, thank you, DJ Bass. Yes, I've been streaming pretty much nonstop for going on 10 years. I've been ill for 11 years. And I feel like I'm finally coming out of it, everybody. And again, it's all been me. It's been me climbing that mountain. Sadly, I don't have really anybody to support me other than my family, but they're doing all of their stuff, everybody. I mean, there's nothing they can really do for me other than, keep going, that kind of thing. But I've got to do it myself because nobody can do it for you. So you got to get up and you got to make good choices about the foods that you're eating. You got to get up and you got to get more steps in your day. You got to work on your circulation, which I'm doing. I have my circulation socks on right now. I try to take my breaks now. I try to be very diligent and all of the, all the battles that you're fighting every day, right? Like I have a circulation problem from sitting for over 2,222 hours. Not kidding. That's exactly the amount of hours that Twitch told me I had last year streaming. That's equivalent to 6 hours a day for 365 days. That's how many hours I streamed last year. It's crazy. They got to think, just take that and double that. And that's how many hours I spent also off stream. Right? So if you got like 2,000 on and 2,000 off. So I've really been working on it big time. But I have a problem with circulation because I'm sitting so much. And so I have to get up and walk around and, really work on that circulation. Otherwise, I'm going to die probably, get some sort of problem with my legs, and then I won't be able to walk, and that sucks. So I've been working on that big time, trying to fight all the battles. You know how it is, everybody. When you got different medical conditions, you're always fighting different types of battles. You try to fight, keep your weight down. You're trying to, try to steer away from the bad food, try to stay on the good food. But every now and again, I still have a little bit of pizza or something like that. But I don't have soda. I don't have those kind of things. I'm actually off dairy now as well. I'm not drinking any milk or eating any cereal now. I've gone off of that, and now I just have like pasta and chicken and rice, stuff like that. I had some broccoli today and some pasta. I did more broccoli. I was showing my daughter, saying, "Look at me, your daddy's eating broccoli." My daughter's a vegetarian, and I support her. Everybody, I support people who want to eat the way they wanted me. I'm not going to tell her, "Hey, you got to do this or you got to do that." I've always been a supporter of that, of her in that way. And she's like, "There's nothing wrong with broccoli. Broccoli's good." And I was like, "You're right. It is." Because I never know, because I never ate it, because I didn't grow up in that kind of household, everybody. I didn't grow up in that kind of household where, it was like, this is nutritious and whatever, because we didn't know. You can't blame your parents for that one, everybody. You can blame society. You can blame all the companies. You can blame them, but you can't blame your parents for that. Because we thought that fast food was good food. We thought that was, acceptable food to eat back in the day and whatnot. So how did we know? We didn't know. And so we were like the beta test generation, everybody. That's the Generation X, everybody. We beta tested all that stuff for you. You're welcome. Fast food, junk food, soda, I think cigarettes as well. Of course, that was actually previous generation too, into our generation, and all those things that are bad for you, everybody. And then, of course, everybody's been beta testing alcohol. Alcohol has been bad for you forever when you use too much of it. A little bit of it's not too bad. I mean, again, it's a little wine, little beer, whatever it is. It's when you have anything in large amounts is when it really has an effect, right? Like, I mean, massive amount of sugar, and that massive amount of sugar has me going like this on my energy levels all the time. Everybody goes like that. But man, when I went off of sugar, everybody, I was like shaking. Same thing when I went off of soda, man. I was really like shaking, because it's like you're addicted to the thing, But now I don't do that anymore. I don't ride that roller coaster anymore. Now it's more mellow, everybody. Now I ride the energy like this. Of course, I'm old. So what happens? My energy levels are like this. And so I'm like 60% battery, and then I drop to 30% battery, and then I just shut down like an old iPhone. It just describes being older perfectly, everybody. It just absolutely does. If you agree with me, everybody, put a 1 in the chat if you agree with that, and how that's what it feels like being older. Your energy levels are just reduced versus when you were in your 20s, man. When you're in your 20s, you have maximal 100% battery, and you can charge that back up with less sleep than you can when you get older. When you get older, it's a struggle to do anything, everybody, especially when you're ill and you're sick all the time. It's a struggle for sure. But we're going to get into it and have some fun tonight, everybody. A Polypop reward. There you go. I'm going to give 1,000 kids caps to everybody in the chat from DJ Bass claiming that Polypop reward. Remember, I do that once per stream as well. All good here of UBook. Or FaceTube, or whatever it's called these days. There you go, Rotisserie G. Yeah, over on YouTube. I see you there. Tab saying hi. What up? Paul putting 1 in the chat. Thank you for coming in, hanging out, Paul. Appreciate you. Seth with the 1 as well. Thanks, everybody, for coming in and joining the channel. Again, my name is Kismet. If you're new to my stream, they call me the Gaming Tycoon because I've been gaming for 50 years. I've played all these games and thousands more, all the way back to the very, very beginning of digital gaming, which is their first console, the Magnavox Odyssey in the early 70s. I also had a Commodore 64. We had, of course, Apples, the original Apple IIs and Apple E's and C's and all of those. And, of course, all the Macs, all the Windows, Sun Super, what do they call them? Sun microstations. I've used those. I've used gigantic pre-press equipment, which costs $250,000 or $1 million. I've also used Cray supercomputers and other computers like that along my way. I've been in technology forever, since the dawn of technology, pretty much. And had an incredibly great career as a graphic designer. Absolutely loved it. I lived for it every day. Sadly, I can do it no longer. And you have to at some point, everybody, just say, okay, what's next? And that's it. That's what you have to do. You can't linger in the past forever and say, oh, well, I wish I could and wish I would do the thing, right? Because I go back to working at Apple in a second, everybody. I absolutely would if I could. But you have to, say, look, these are the parameters in which I can work and what I can do. And you have to, stay within those parameters, but then, keep pushing back that line a little bit, everybody. I feel like the worst thing you can do is lay down, and I've seen it happen, everybody. My father went out that way, where he got very ill, and he got in the bed, and then he wasted away and died. I know, kind of a sad thing to talk about, but I saw myself, that same thing happened to me. At age 45, though. I mean, my father's way older. He was in his 80s. And I could see that happen to me. If I had taken, like, what do they call it? I can't remember the name of it now. Disability. If I'd taken disability and just laid around in the bed all day long, there'd be no reason for me to live, everybody. There'd be no reason to go on. See, that's your biggest struggle, I think, for most people, is the reason to go on. Why would you go on if you're suffering every single day? What would be your reasoning to keep going? In my case, I'm relentless. I never give up. That's why I go on. And I go on to see what happens tomorrow. Because I'm curious. I want to know. I want to know what's going to happen today and tonight and what we got going on, right? That curiosity keeps me going as well. Because I know a lot of you are struggling. You're struggling with depression. You're struggling with tough issues like I am. And medical issues and things of that nature. And I say, go on, everybody. Get another day and try to make this day the best day you ever had. They're like, we're going to make this the best stream I've ever done. The BSE, the best stream ever. That's why we have that number on there. And what number is this one? A lot, everybody. I've done so many best stream evers, and just having the great time doing it, everybody. What is this? This is best stream ever, number 2,493. We're 7 away from 2,500 best stream evers. Now, that's not how many total streams I've done. I've probably done over 4,000 streams over the last 10 years. In that neighborhood, 3,000 to 4,000 before I started the best stream ever. But it's just a mindset that I got in and saying, you know what? I'm going to make this the best stream ever. And then the one tomorrow, I'm going to make that one the best, right? It's a mindset that you get in to make today the best day you've ever had, make this the best stream you ever did, and do the best work that you can do every single day. And it's a great mindset to get into that mindset of just working away at it, trying to do your best every day. And that's all you can ask of anyone. It's all I ever ask of my kids, to do their best, to do their homework, to try their best, and be respectful. That's one of I will die on that hill, everybody. I will constantly say, show people respect till the end of time. Because I think that's one of the most important things, everybody, to value other people, to value their time, to value being respectful to them. And whatnot. It's a lot of times people say that respect is earned, and it's kind of partially true. Respect can be lost, but it is not earned. Respect is given. That is the most important thing you need to learn in life. It is on you to give respect to others, but it is on them to give it to you. Right? And if they don't give it to you, then they don't deserve your respect. I still am respectful to people, and I'm still kind to people when they're being disrespectful. I say, that's pretty rude. I don't want to talk to you anymore. And then I'm out. That's it. When people don't respect you, they don't think that you're valuable enough for their time. Like they treat you like, oh, well, I'm too busy. I'm too busy for whatever you need, right? That's another thing, too. Those are the people don't care about you. When they say, oh, I got something else to do. right? They don't care about you. They don't want to be around you. They think that you're less valuable than something else that they're doing. That's a red flag, everybody. You got to watch out for that. And if people are doing that to you, people are saying, oh, well, you're less valuable, I have all these other things to do, that's a huge red flag that they don't respect you, they don't care about you. And I've had that many times, everybody, where people are like, well, I don't have enough time. And I'm like, all right, see ya. All right. Again, I'm not going to, well, if you don't think I'm valuable enough to be part of your 2-second sentence, then I'm not going to spend my time either, because my time is valuable to me as well. And I don't know how much time I got left, everybody. I'm coming up on 55. So you don't know. You don't know even when you're young how much time you got, right? But I've outlived a ton of people I've known. They all passed on. Some of them in their 20s and 30s and 40s, and some of them just recently in their 50s have passed on and gone on, man. If you think about like your high school, right? How many people you had in your high school and how many people are still alive today? Which is not a lot, everybody. Really a reduction. Well, I came from a really kind of scary high school, everybody, where people getting shot and stabbed, and you're always like looking over your shoulder, kind of thing. I'm not kidding either. That's not an exaggeration. That is really how I grew up. I grew up in a kind of a real scary thing. Now, of course, it was like a middle class, area. But there were some crazies in there, everybody. It doesn't matter where you go in the world. You could be in the richest part of the world. There's still crazies everywhere. And you still got to watch out for them crazies. And I was around those crazies because I didn't want them to be against me. So I was like running with the crazy people just to not be shot or stabbed from the crazy people. And then I escaped those crazy people when I get out. Right when I was at the end of high school, I went with the Geek Squad. The Geek Squad's much safer. Everybody don't have guns and they don't have knives. And ran with the Geek Squad instead of the surfer dirtbags. Of course, I like surfers. Surfers are awesome, and skaters are awesome, but not the ones who are the dirtbag ones who are like drug dealers and who are doing a whole bunch of stuff that is not PG-13, everybody. A whole bunch of terrible stuff that I was not involved in, everybody. I just like, hey, how you guys doing? Good to see you. All right, I got to go do the thing, right? I just was like friendly with them, but not like running with them, if you know what I mean. I don't want to be involved in all of that, everybody. I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to be involved in any illegal activity. I don't want to lie. I don't want to cheat. I don't want to steal. There's nothing valuable enough in my life that I possibly want to lie, cheat, steal about it. I just do as much as I can in a day. And frankly, I can barely remember what I'm doing most of the time. I was talking to my daughter earlier. I got these shoes because she's a runner, and I got these shoes to help with my feet because I've been walking on the treadmill, and man, my left foot is just absolutely painful. It's still painful today. A couple days later, everybody, still really painful. She suggested these shoes. And so I was talking to her about, I don't even remember what I was talking to her about that I forgot now. I remember I forgot. I just don't remember what I was talking about that I forgot when the thing. See, then I forgot something and I was trying to remember it. And now I can't remember what it is that I was talking about that I then forgot about and whatnot. And that is sleep apnea, and that is insomnia. That's what that does to you, everybody. It makes it where everybody thinks you're an idiot. Basically, everybody thinks that you have like some sort of problem, and you do. You have a problem with memory loss and memory recovery. It's kind of like having a bad hard drive, everybody. You can't recover stuff anymore. It's a medical condition that causes that. And I've had that explained to me many times by my doctors, that's going to be an issue that I'll have to deal with forever. That's it. I'll have to deal with it forever. I have to deal with my dizziness forever. I have to deal with my sleep problems forever. There's no magical fix for it. I can't just take a pill or do a thing or go over there or go physical therapy or whatever. There's no fix for it. So what do you do then? Well, you get up out of bed and you say, all right, well, we're going to learn to live with this, and we're going to do as much as we can do, even though we have these limitations that we have. And I've been doing that for 10 years, everybody, and it's been so hard. It's been so hard to push that limit back, that I can drive a little bit further, that I can do a little bit more, that I can walk a little bit further, and just pushing back. Just the fact that I was brave enough, everybody, to get on a surfboard while you're incredibly dizzy at the same time, because I don't know which way's up in the water. So you got to think about how brave you got to be to go out in the water, far out there, by the way, not just right there on the shore. I mean, way out there swim out there as a 50-pound overweight man, which I still am. I lost 50 pounds, but I gained about 100 pounds over the years. So I got another 50 pounds or 30 to 50 pounds to go. So I swam out there, and you saw it in those pictures. And I got up on the surfboard. I absolutely did for about 3 seconds, and then I fell off. Because surfing, I think, is falling with style. Because you got to think that I'm dizzy. So how am I going to balance myself when I can't even stand most of the time? I knew there was very little hope of me actually riding it in. But you know what the greatest thing was, everybody? Is not my accomplishment, is to watch my daughters surf. Whoa, it gets me. Watch my daughters on the first try, by the way, everybody, because they're skinny and they're young and they're strong, and they just surf right down the thing, man. It was awesome. It was the whole reason I did all of that in the first place, and it was amazing. And that was brought to you by all of you, by the way, all your love and attention here in the stream. I greatly appreciate it. Now, that's what we call a little bit of stream therapy here in the top of the stream. I just try to inspire you guys, everybody, because if I can do these amazing things, and with all my disabilities and all of my struggles, I know that you can go out and make 2025 an amazing year, and that's what we're going to do. All right? So let's do it, everybody. Let's get into it. Let's play some games and have some fun. Sorry, I bumped the microphone. So like I said, everybody, what was I saying? I'm going to sell everything I got, everybody. I'm going to sell all my stuff and just try to pay down this debt at this point because that was awesome, but you need to pay that down because, you're paying those interest payments every month on those credit cards, everybody, when you just YOLO it like that. You're paying those interest payments, and I'd love to pay that off. But I don't ask for that stuff here in the stream, everybody. I don't say, oh, well, I got some bills I got to pay, do whatever. I only do projects that I think that would be fun for you guys to be part of, which is like the van thing, where if I go to like, to the White Spring or whatever they call it in real life and say, look, everybody, look, it's the White Spring. I'm bringing you guys along with me. And maybe I might do a live stream from the White Spring or whatnot, and then take you guys on the journey and whatnot. And then maybe play some Fallout 76 afterwards, that kind of thing. And, do that kind of stuff and go to all the different locations. Again, this is an idea I had like 8 years ago, but there's no way I could have done it. But I couldn't drive that far. I couldn't go that far on my own. That's why, by the way, when I used to go to TwitchCon, the first TwitchCon, man, that was dangerous, man. That was really dangerous for me to do that by myself. And I had no one else to go with me because my wife and kids were busy doing other things. And I had no one to go with me. And I really struggled to get around and to make sure I didn't fall or hurt myself. And then I had this brilliant idea. It's like, you know what? I'll bring my mods. My mods will love it. I'll just raise funds for like 6 months and I'll bring my mods with me. And I spent that money and a whole lot of other money, my money, and all the stream money to make that happen, everybody, every single year. And I'm still paying that off, by the way. Still paying that off to this day. Still doing that years and years and years later. Again, I just make the minimum payments. You know how it goes on your credit cards, everybody. But it was an amazing thing that I'm sure my mods and me will remember for the rest of our life. We went and did that stuff. And then I had my mods there in case. And my mods were so sweet, everybody. They were so sweet and so kind. And they would look after me like a little old man. They say, you okay, Kismet? You okay? Okay, we're going to follow you around. And I greatly appreciate that because I needed that, everybody. I needed my team to watch after me so I wasn't so scared of falling or being hurt or whatnot because I look like a big guy, everybody. I'm a 5'9". I'm about, 180. I look like a big guy, but a toddler can come over and just push me over, everybody. They can, because I have such a bad equilibrium because of my dizziness all the time, that the smallest little kid could come and just push me over and I would fall down. That's it. I'm going down. There's no way I can stop it. When I feel like I'm going to fall down, by the way, I sit down right away. I sit down right away. I've done it hundreds of times where I just sit down. Sometimes I just get up and I start walking, and then I get about halfway to the bathroom or halfway to going downstairs, and I just sit down in the hallway. Still to this day, I just sit down in the hallway. I wait for it to pass. I say, okay, this is part of my life. Every day I got to do this. And then I get up and I say, okay, let's go on. And then that's the resilient part, everybody. And that, you got to admire that in people. And I admire that in all of you who are struggling like me and get up every day and say, you know what? Today's the day. Let's go. Let's go. Let's play some games. Let's inspire some people. Let's show some love. Let's send it out all over the world and here via the stream. I appreciate it. Oh, Mr. Peanut, I already did the Polly Pop reward, but because you're so awesome, I'm going to double it up today. There you go. There you go, Mr. Peanut. There you go. I sent it out there. You and DJ Bass had already gotten it, but there you go. And thanks for that muted, by the way, because sometimes I hit it with my elbow. Like I put my arm over. My microphone is right here, everybody. It is the awesome Wave 3. There you go. You can see it. Right there. And I have it right here. And sometimes I put my elbow over the top and it has a mute button on the top. So if I bump it, it's really awesome because it's super sensitive. You just barely touch it. You just like tap it. And sometimes I'll hit it with my elbow if I move my arm over the thing. Or sometimes I'll hit the top of it when I'm reaching for stuff back here. So thank you very much for letting me know. All right. So let's get into it, everybody. We're going to have some fun. Now, if you missed it, by the way, the other day we played an incredibly fun game of Aloft. I highly recommend. And I recommend you come join us, everybody. Snatch it up on Steam. Come and join us on Sunday. We're going to now set that as our Sunday game. I do see they have an update coming for Enshrouded, and they had an update for Valheim. Oh, God, there's so many great games to play. But we're going to play a bunch of Aloft. We'll play that every week, and the same thing with Satisfactory. We're playing this every week. We're playing a ton of Throne Liberty because we're trying to get ready for the 2 stars that are coming up. We're also playing Astroneer, and I have a whole bunch of other games that are coming down the line, everybody. See, this stuff I'm doing, everybody, the stuff I'm doing now is like June, right? Because all the stuff I'm doing now is the stuff I did last June and July and August and September and whatnot that is now. See, I'm always thinking ahead to the next thing and planning this stuff out in advance and then trying to work in videos and upgrades to the streams and doing a whole bunch of stuff like that. And then working on my health and making sure the family's squared away and so on and so forth. I do a lot of things in a day that most people don't even know I do, including my family. They don't understand all this, everybody. They don't understand streaming. They don't understand gaming. They don't understand all of that kind of culture and how it's grown to be the #1 entertainment in the world. More than sports, more than anything else, that gaming has become #1. And it's for a good reason, because it's fun. Because it's fun as well. But hey, you can like all of those things, by the way, everybody. You don't have to like just the one thing. I love watching baseball. That's kind of my favorite sport of all the sports to watch. But I'll watch some of the Super Bowl, mostly for the commercials, by the way. But I'll watch the Super Bowl. I'll watch the World Series, that kind of thing from time to time. Now, do I get it? Just like when I get into something like Star Wars or something else, everybody, I don't know every player. I don't know what their back history is. I don't know who in 1973 won the World Series or whatever. A big love to you if you have that kind of memory. I do not anymore. Maybe if I learned all of that when I was in my 20s, maybe I would remember. But I'm not that into it. I'm into it. I enjoy it. But I enjoy playing the games more than I enjoy watching them. I enjoy playing baseball very much, and I am absolutely terrible. I only had 1 home run, everybody, and luckily my future wife was watching me when I did it. I had always missed the ball because I didn't know I couldn't see. I didn't know I couldn't see, so every time the ball would just go, and I'd be like, no. Because I couldn't see, and then I got contacts, everybody, and I was at I've told the story before, but for all of you who've never heard it, I'll tell it one more time here. I was at a company picnic, and they all started playing baseball, and I said, I'll go over there, I'll play some. I played baseball at a really long time at that point. And so since I was a kid, and I was on, you know, like the Little League and whatnot, and I was just terrible at it. I was absolutely terrible. I think I was the shortstop, and then they moved me to deep field because I couldn't see the ball. I didn't know it. And then when I was like 15, I got glasses, and I was looking at some poster, and they said, hey, Kismet, can you see that? And I was like, no, can you guys see that? And they're like, yeah, I can totally see that. Man, you need glasses or something. And that's when I got glasses. And then eventually I got contacts, which I abused way too much, everybody. I wear them way too long and way too much, and, you know, the arrogance of youth. So I was at this game, and I said, come on, pitch it in here, or whatever, and some of my friends from work there were pitching it in and, doing curveballs or whatever. I said, come on, just fire one in, bro. Come on, let's do it. And he fired in a fastball, everybody, and I went boom. And that's a defining moment in your life, everybody. When you hear that crack of the bat, and that thing is gone, bro. It is gone. And I nailed that sucker. The best I've ever hit the ball ever in my entire life. It went flying. And they all moved up, too, because they were joking. They're like, let's move up. Kismet is up to bat, right? They wanted to, troll on me. You know how it goes when you have peeps that, that's the way it was in those days. But you kind of ribbed on each other. But everybody did it not in a mean-spirited way. I feel like that's the biggest problem today. That people watch everybody doing that from the past, and now they're just like mean. It's not supposed to be mean, everybody. It's like a funny thing that you do between friends, not like really mean to other people, like you suck and go kill yourself and all that other crazy, stupid stuff that people say. That's dumb. It's a funny thing between friends, but it's not a funny thing between strangers. It's a mean thing if you do it to strangers. So I knocked that. My wife, who was a girlfriend at the time, watched me knock that clear out. Boom. It was gone, bro. It was gone. It was out of there. There was no way they were going to get it. And I ran the bases, and I never played it again. I was like, that's it. I've done it. I peaked, everybody. I peaked with that home run. And if you never hit a home run before, everybody, you would never know what that's like. But I know what it's like. And it was one of those defining moments in my life. I did my 20s, which is pretty awesome. Defining moments in my life. And when I went surfing for the first time and I stood up on the board and I actually rode it a little bit before I fell off, that was another defining moment in my life. When I figured out that I could ride a bike for 50 miles, which I did in the Boy Scouts. I rode a thing for 50 miles. I did a canoe for 50 miles. I didn't know I could do it. But then I learned I could do it. Right? All of those things where you push yourself and you test those limits, and then it defines who you are, because now you know these things are possible, and that's the biggest power, everybody. The biggest power is to know something is possible, whether you're playing games or in life. That's really the biggest thing, is to know you can do it, that it can be done, and you're the one to do it. And see, that's the thing about everybody else, everybody. When they say, oh, this is impossible, it can't be done. Great examples like the rockets, the SpaceX rockets that come down and land. I just love that, because I know there were so many people along the way that just naysayed everything that they were doing. And they said, oh, well, reusable rockets can't be done. You can't land a rocket back again. You got to just land it in the ocean and recover it and blah, 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 blah. All the naysayers that always say things can't be done. And then when they landed the first one, boom, nailed it. Awesome. And then, just to give them the big middle finger, I know that's why they did it, everybody. At least that's my theory. And they landed two of them at the same time. And that's one of those defining moments in history now, is when they landed both of those at the same time. And one day, everybody, there'll be 10, 15 of those landing and taking off at the same time. They'll all be going off. Oh, no, it's like nothing. It's like us driving to the store, everybody. People be flying to Mars and flying to the moon and going to all different sorts of places. Sadly, I won't be around to see it. I think that'll be beyond my time, everybody. But I'm going to enjoy every step along the way. And of course, now they're landing the big, gigantic rockets now, everybody, and they're catching them with the arms and stuff. I find that fascinating and amazing. And whether you like all the people who are all the corporate a-holes, or whether you're cheering for the average Joe, which I am, who works on all that stuff, the truck drivers and the people who put the bolts on and put the plates on or whatnot, because that's for humanity, everybody. That's for everyone. That's not just for one individual. That's for the human race. And that is what I'm all about. I'm all about all of us getting, some love. You know what I mean? The whole planet, not just certain individuals. Give the love to the people who really earned it, the people down there welding that thing together and putting them parts on and coming up with new ideas, the engineers and the scientists and the average Joe who's the blue-collar worker who's out there taking out the trash, man. Show them some love. Those are the people who make those things happen, really. The people who have the money, they got the money, big deal. But you got to have the talent to make that stuff happen. And you got to have the will. I feel like that's even more important. You got to have the will of every single one of those people to be motivated to do that thing, right? And will is what makes things happen, not anything else. I mean, you can have finances, maybe a little luck along the way, but will is the ultimate when it comes to getting things done. right? That's the ultimate thing as well. And time, of course, time and will, or time and effort is another way of putting it. And I'm all about time and effort. We're going to put a lot of time and effort into this mega base we're building. See how I always turn it back around to gaming, everybody. There's a big parallel between gaming and real life, everybody. There really is. Because, you know, if you're motivated to do this, you could go out and do amazing things if you think about it. If I was younger and stronger, I would go out and do all those amazing things. But right now, I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to try to go out and do more amazing things with my Vault van one day. If, you know, again, this is a long-term project, everybody. Between now and the next 6 months, I'm just going to be streaming like crazy and then hoping to get, you know, $1 per day or something like that. In donations, and then try to get my way there, and then take you guys on the journey. I think that would be amazing. I think that would be an amazing journey to go on, do something amazing, more things amazing in my lifetime. Or I will die before that happens. Those are the two options that are going to happen, everybody. Either I'll make it happen, I'll go do these amazing things, or that'll be it. That'll be game over. But either way, I'm okay with it, everybody. I don't really worry about dying and going anymore, because to me, I don't really exist anymore. Once you get really, really sick, the old you doesn't exist, is what I'm talking about. You're never going to go back and be the 20-year-old you again. You will never be that person again. You are the person you are now, and I like who the person I am now. I'm a decent human being. I'm a very devoted type of person. If you're a friend of mine, I'm a friend of yours. That kind of person, right? That kind of person you can call 3 o'clock in the morning and say, hey, I'm in trouble. My car's broke down. Can you come and help me? I'm on the way. No questions asked. I don't even need to know why you're broken down. I don't even need to know where. Just, well, you might want to send it to me so I can find you. But I don't care. I'll be there. That's it. That's the kind of friend that I try to be. When my wife breaks down and she has a flat tire, I'll be there. Let's go get it fixed. Let's go get it done. Oh, you're locked out of your car? Let me come help you. My kids have trouble? Let me do it. Let's go. Let's get it done. Let's get it fixed. When the car breaks down, I find some miracle way of paying for it. And let's go. Let's do it. That kind of devotion is not very common. You won't find that common devotion, because I try to be the person that I like to be around. If people don't show you the same kind of devotion, everybody, then those are probably not the people you want to hang around. If they don't want to show you devotion, if they don't think you're worth their time, then those are not the people you should be around. The people who care about you will like to spend time with you. They'll like to devote time to being with you. And if they don't, then screw them, everybody. I mean, you can't spend your life doting over people who will never care about you and don't care about you. And I've had that revelation about some extended family members that don't care about me. They don't care. They only care about themselves, very selfish and whatnot. They only care about what they want. I'm like, all right, I don't want anything to do with those extended family members. No, thank you. No, thank you. And then I've had some family members who I can call and who are there, who answer the phone and say, how you doing? Are you doing okay today? Those are the people are the most valuable. Oh, makes me emotional. Those are the people that are most valuable. Whoop. And I lost my headphone. Those are the people who are most valuable in your life, everybody. The people you can call. And even if you've had issues or whatnot back and forth, who will answer the phone anyway and say, are you okay? Are you doing okay? I'm here for you. And those are the most valuable people in your life that you can do that with. And you might have friends, you might have family, you might have grandparents, whatever it is, that you can call and value those people, everybody, when they step up like that. When they step up in those moments, those are the moments in which you should value those people the most. And I've had a few of those people too, and those are the people I value the most. The people who are there and say, you know what, I'm there for you, you're worth my time, and appreciate you as well. And if I talk about it too much, I get emotional, everybody, because I've been riding the really bad up and down for the last 11 years, everybody. And I'm of the age, everybody, you know, you can't be the stoic man anymore. I don't even try anymore. I don't even try to be that, oh, look at me, I'm the stoic man. Look at me, I'm so successful and rich and powerful and whatever. That crap. I'm so sick of that. I'm so sick of hearing about it. I'm so sick of people talking about it. Trying to be that old, 1950s and 60s man that where you have to prove yourself to everybody. You don't have to prove yourself to nobody. Man, woman, in between, I don't care. You don't have to prove nothing to nobody. You answer to no one because you have the most precious thing, your time, and you answer to nobody. You just need to take care of yourself. Make sure to take care of yourself, not in a selfish way, but in a smart way, so that you are strong enough to not end up like me, everybody, end up sick and old. I suggest you stay young forever and good looking, just like you are. That's what I suggest. That's the best way. All right, now I get totally distracted on my my stream therapy there. Again, sometimes I just like to, talk to the chat. That's my favorite thing, really. Let's see how our stuff is doing. That's what we need to do. We need to see how our power is doing over here. How are we looking here? This is making a lot of fuel over here. It's not even putting the fuel out. This is what you want to see, everybody. Look at all the smoke coming out of my stuff over there. Okay, so we want to see how balanced our power has been. Now, remember, we've been letting this run for like a week on our mega server via G Portal. I appreciate them greatly sponsoring the stream. And look at that rock solid line, everybody. That's what you want to see. You want to see this line just really rock solid. The overall cost of my power is around, let's call it 5,000 or 6,000. Let's round it up. So the overall cost of my power is around 6,000 for all my stuff that's running, like extractors and converters and all of that stuff and refineries and whatnot, is right around, let's call it 6,000. And I'm producing 33,550 power. So that tells me that I have a surplus of 28,000 power that I can use for making factories and stuff. I have no factories, none of that stuff running at all, just the power. Now, why did I do that? Well, I took it all down and then organized it in such a way that my power is first the highest priority. And then I, of course, backlogged tons of resources up there first from all those other factories that I had. And we let that run over the holiday. And now it's all about power and backup power. This right here is my backup power. This is online backup power, and this is offline backup power. So this is fully charged, kind of like a battery you would charge, and then you would disconnect it from your car, and then set it aside, and then you'd have your actual battery that you're using. So you have two batteries, so in case one battery dies, you can switch it out. That's basically what this is, but in a big, gigantic building. And this is 30,000, and this is 30,000 power. We got restart in 60 minutes. All right, no worries. Now, last time, everybody, we were working on our rail system and just having a great time doing it. We had run our rail system out to get some of this coal out here. And we want to kind of add some stuff to that coal train. Also, we have a fuel train that's running up and grabbing this oil here and running it back, which is what basically runs all of that power over here. So it's bringing the oil in right here and is transferring the oil. Now, we had a weird problem with the thing where it was working down below, but then when I brought it up here, it wasn't working right. And the output just does not seem to match the input. Now, these are both backlogged. Okay, those are backlogged now. Yeah, see, that finally caught up. Because like I was saying last time, is that we were gaining. We were gaining over time. And this is what you really want. You want all your pipes to be full, and you want your buffers to be full, and you want everything to be full beyond there. And you want to see that you're gaining, your transfer per minute is 522, which is pretty decent. And instead of having like 5 trains, which would basically actually slow the process down, you have too many trains, it actually slows the process down because it stops exporting or it stops draining the oil out whenever the train is in the station. So you got to take that into account because it reduces your throughput. So we just went with 2 trains, and 2 trains seem to be working perfectly, as well as I went in and used my summer sloops to boost it so I would have extra fuel to backlog it a bit, also for packaging, but also to fill up those pipes and to make it work very fluidly. Another thing that we did is we created a fluid loop. One of the things I've learned in this game, and they've talked about it before in the dev streams, is that they have a thing called hammering. Now, hammering is a real life thing that does happen when you're putting fluid like water down a pipe and the pipe ends. It's going to ram into the end and then cause a shock wave back along the water line, which will disturb your water line. So you don't necessarily want it to come into a dead end like that. You want it to go in a loop. So what we did first, we tried it without the loop, and it was having issues trying to stay going. And so what we did is we then created cross loops here and here between all of these. And then we created a loop along the back as well, where all of this is actually connected together. Now, these are only 600 pipes, so really I can't do 1,200 fluid through there, but one of the things I can do is balance all of the fluid between all of the pipes so that everything is getting a consistent amount of fluid without that hammering. So what we did is we created a loop that goes to each and every one, and each and every one is connected together. And the thing about pipes is pipes go in multiple directions, the fluid does, because it's like a merger and a splitter, so it will go that way and this way at the same time. So it goes in dual directions on the pipe itself, unless you put a valve in there or a pump. A pump will tell it to go this direction and only that direction. So it's pushing it in that direction, which is why we put all of our pumps here in the front to make sure that it doesn't backlog into the machines. We want it to come out of the machines, go into the circulation, circulate it like that. Great examples like in your computer, if you have a fluid thing, it'll actually circulate the water. That's why they have that water loop like that. It'll actually circulate the water for water cooling as well. It takes the hot water, makes it cool, the hot water makes it cool, et cetera, in that looping. So that's why we did that. And of course, we also have some backup tanks, or they're called fluid tanks, but I think they'd be better called what are they called? Fluid balancers. They're called fluid buffers, but they're really fluid balancers. I guess buffer and balancer is kind of the same. But basically, that's what it does, is it balances and tries to keep it at an even thing. Now, because I have the pumps over here, a lot of this is not going to backlog because I don't have that much extra. Over here, I have tons of extra fuel. Over here, not so much. And then over here, a good amount. So we have a lot of fuel, but not a lot of extra of our turbo fuel. And that's okay as long as it is functioning at its full capacity. Then we know we did it right. Oh, it went down just a little bit. The 300 went down. And that sometimes happens when you log in, everybody. All of a sudden, like you go buy something and some mechanic kicks in, and it causes your thing to go up. And that's why you always want to have like a balance at the top of your power. So when you're reaching the top of your power, you want to have a safe area in which it can peak and go down and peak and go down. Same thing with your electrical power, that it might go way up past your current power, then your electrical power kicks in or your backup batteries kick in, and then it comes back down below that line. That's how I finished the last game, by the way, with about 50,000 power. That's all I need. Finish the entire game. Absolutely. That's called being very, very efficient right there. If you want to see that, you can go back and watch the playlist on YouTube. If you want to see me do the whole thing in super efficient fashion. Now, this one we're doing in super mega build fashion. Now, one of the things about building, everybody, one of the things I suggest is that you start with the basic building always first, like the square building like this. And then you can come back and you can embellish it later. You can put in lights, you can put in edges, you can put in all of your glass and all of that stuff. I find that building it first, you're going to end up taking it down and redoing it multiple times. So building it fancy first is just going to waste a lot of your time. And again, your time is your most precious resource and the ultimate power. So the best thing to do is to get it working, and when you have it working, then come back and then embellish it and make it however you want. Like if we could have rounded glass tunnels, I would make little rounded glass tunnels around this and make that, like a tube that comes out of there and whatnot. Maybe even frosted glass would be cool, and whatnot, to vent all of that, and do the same thing over there with vents or make it square or whatever. I'm all about making it fancy, and I do like doing mega builds that make it fancy. But not when you're establishing your power, not when you're setting the stuff up. But you can set it all up and then build a gigantic hydro plant around it, right? Make it fancy, make it cool. You can also take inspiration by looking at real life factories, by the way. You can look them up. You go look them up online. You can even do some AI stuff, look up factories that way, and then see if you can build them in game, which a lot of people in Satisfactory and other games as well are inspired. They build like the Enterprise, and they build like pirate ships and stuff like that, all inspired by real life stuff. And I love doing that as well. But again, efficiency first, everybody. I'm all about that efficiency first. Okay, so speaking of efficiency, it's time to move forward in our resources here. What we want to do is get our Mark III miner at this point, because we're going to use our Mark III miners, and that's as fast as it's ever going to be. That's the highest level miner in the game, and that's what I've been kind of getting to, so I can then, before I start my factory building, I can then base it on the max numbers that I could possibly extract from each of these pure nodes that I have over here, which is 1,200, by the way, in case you're wondering. That's what we're going to do right there. So we've selected this milestone. Also, we do our turbo motors and our stuff that goes to our phase 4. Not in any giant rush for that. And then the same thing here. We could get our turbo motors going. I think we already did. Did we do our cooling systems? I think we did our fan thing to do our cooling systems. Not sure I actually did. I don't think I did the cooling system, because I would need the nitrogen for that. And that's really what we want to work on, because that's the big component of our fused modular frames, is that gas. So we need to go and have our train pick up that gas and bring that gas back. And that's why I ran the train right through the middle here. So this is running through the middle, so it can dodge over, but it can also get this SAM ore. It can go over here and pick up this bauxite and bring that back. But the thing that we really want right here is this nitrogen gas. And we want to take that nitrogen gas and we want to run it over here and put a train station here and integrate that train station into the rest of our train network. So it's also bringing that nitrogen gas back, and that allows us to use our manufacturer to manufacture the next piece that we need, so we can get our extractors and we can put our factories back, and so on and so on. You get the idea, because that would be the most efficient thing to do next. And so that's what we're going to do. So what I'm going to do is watch my train for a second, and then I'm going to go ahead and put a marker right there. We'll just put an exclamation point, and I'm just going to come out like this and wait for it to go by. I'll say here. Right about there. And then on the map, I can go ahead and just click that and say highlight it. Now, when it's highlighted, I can go ahead and look at where it's at that way. See, that's exactly where it's going to be. So now I know where to offshoot that to kind of line up to it. It's not perfectly lined up. That's okay. I usually come back and adjust it. But that's what we're going to start with today. We're going to create a offshoot of our train line. Now, what we did is we've been creating push-pull trains most of the time. Push-pull trains are incredibly effective. You have one station facing this way, one station facing that way, one engine this way, one engine this way, and then you have your cars in between. Remember, more than 4 cars, you need a second engine. Now, when you have a push-pull train, it only matters in one direction, meaning that if you're pulling a train this way, it's pulling the 4 cars and the engine at the end, everybody. So keep that in mind. So if it seems to slow down, you put another engine going that way and another engine going that way. And push-pull trains are incredibly effective because you only need a single line, and it will go back and forth. You can also make turnouts, so when the train's coming along, it can turn out on the side, and another train can go by, like in real life, and then it can go by. They have a lot of that kind of stuff in real life, everybody. Trains are fascinating, I find. Now, do I know everything about trains and every train sets and every train thing? No, because I'm not that into it, but I enjoy it. That's the way I am with many things, everybody. I'm not that into it, but I'm not like obsessive into it. Some people are so into that, whatever they're into, and that's okay. It's okay to be totally into something that you absolutely love and you live for, because you know what? It's your life. It's your choices. You go be whatever you're into. But me, I'm not into stuff that deeply. I'm not like into Star Wars where I know like the 7th person back on, frame 47 or something, whatever. I'm not that into it. I enjoyed it when I was a kid, and I enjoyed it growing up as a kid. And still somewhat enjoy the original movies. Those other movies don't exist for me, everybody. Those were horrible. I think they were absolutely horrible. I don't know what the heck they were thinking. Probably thinking about getting them dollar bills, the only thing they were thinking. Horrible, I think. But then again, you know, I'm sure there's people out there who really enjoyed them. I've watched the pod racing thing several times, and it wasn't any better the second time I watched it. And I watched it for free, and BioWare paid for it. I went to the Guild Summit for Star Wars: The Old Republic, and they took us on a bus. All of the guild leaders. It was really awesome. I met just tons of guild leaders, awesome peeps, and we went and we watched the first one, whatever it's called. I don't forget what the first one is called. But he's doing that pod racing, and I'm going like this. And it's cool. It's one of those places where you can eat, too. So I was eating some pizza and whatnot, and I was sitting there, I was going, just dozing off, watching that pod racing. I mean, that pod racing could have been about 3 minutes, and that's good. It just went on and on and on. I was like, the pod racing stuff, I don't know why they have this in here. It doesn't add much to the story, I don't think. Whoa, look out. I almost got run over by a train. It just wasn't my thing, if you know what I mean. Wasn't my thing, but if it's your thing, more power to you. Remember, we can like different things. That's okay. That's okay to like different things than other people as well. All right, I think these are my train foundations. Yes, so what are we doing? We're doing 3 wide foundations, yes? No, we're doing 4 wide. 3 wide, yeah, 3 wides here. 3 wide foundations. Let's see, these are 3 wide, yes. So normally I do a 2 wide, but when I'm doing dual lanes like this, I do 3 wide. You can get away with 2 wide if you want. I don't like them to be too close because your signaling gets messed up if it's too close. So keep that in mind, everybody. Keep that in mind. All right. Apparently it wants a snap right there. We'll give it a snap. Oh, turn my game sounds on. Okay. So we're going out to right here. Okay, so it seems like we're a little high there. Put another one here. And highlight that one. Yeah, it seems like... Oh, it's right there. I can see it. Awesome. Yeah, I kind of feel like more like that. Yeah, that seems more lined up. So that's why I always double check that stuff. Okay. Now, the easy part. Putting the foundations in. Mark. All right, so you just mark where you want to go, and then you just build your foundations out here. And again, I use red for trains. Makes it real obvious that, hey, this is where my trains are running. And I think we're there. Well, that was super awesome. Yeah, now we just need to get it from down there to up here. One of the things I did learn, which is pretty awesome, is the fact that you can just run power down there. Now, what I'm going to do is divert this here in just a bit. We're going to need our 5s at the end here. And we're probably going to need a bunch of empty slots so that we can put empty slots there so that the train moves forward and then picks up the nitrogen in the back so that the other ones can pick up the oil without being disturbed, and we don't have to change the other ones, just this one. So we'll go ahead and now go to the 5 one here. 5 wide trains, there we go. The cool thing about this is it likes to center itself, which is just so cool. It's snapping to the blueprint. That's going to double that. Maybe we should run past a bit. Yeah, let's run past a bit. So we can line the input with down there. So let's say we bring it up here. So this would be a good spot for our input. And this is you need a fluid platform, but it's really a gas. So like this. So right here. So what I'm going to do is just put a track here for right now, just to remind me, but that's where I'm going to put that. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to put the front of it in And then we have 3 oil containers that get filled up. And then we're going to have the gas in the back so that we can just add one to the back at the end over here. We can add one to the back where it's dropping it off. And then we can then divert that into the factory. Go back here and take a look at that. Always good to double check everything before you build a massive amount of stuff and you start diverting your trains and you start doing all of that. This is going to make this also go much further than it's originally going. So we might need another train on top of this train as well. So we'll see. Because the longer you divert that, the longer it takes for the train to get from one place to another. So I think I actually have 3 trains. Yeah, 3 trains currently. Shadow is following me. Okay. So if we wanted to add one and say divert it to the left over this way, we could definitely do that. Yes. Still feel like I want to bring my coal right there. I might leave that open for coal. And then we'll put our factories on the backside here. Why run it all the way there if we don't need to? Maybe a substation here with 3 empty spots and then diverting the nitrogen gas out, and then it goes and drops off the oil separately. That seems like a better idea, because then it will take it from over there, bring it over here, drop it here, and then we can just drop it right to our probably way up here is where I put it. Then we can drop it directly off to our factory, because we're going to put the factory back here on this side. This is going to be my factory side over here where I'm doing all of the processes on this side, and then that side over there is for power and whatnot. So that whole side will be power side. This will be factory side. And of course, we'll build out factories all out in here. I feel like that's the thing to do. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That building it in my head, everybody, while I'm looking at it, I'm just like, okay, this here, that there, this thing here. If I have this and I build a factory and I run the nitrogen to the manufacturer and whatnot and do all the blueprints. And see, I'm like 20 or 30 steps ahead now. Just from just going into my mind for a minute and visualizing it all on what are all the steps. And of course, there'll be some changes along the way. But if you have that power, that ability, which I didn't know everybody couldn't do. I didn't know everybody couldn't visualize stuff in full color in their head like I can. And that's a learned trait over a long period of time, but it wasn't just some magically thing I just discovered. It was learning how to basically use daydreaming as a superpower. It's pretty awesome. Would packaging gas be more efficient as you can fit more of an item in your train car? I tried packaging and I thought, well, hey, you know what? I'm going to package all my oil and I'm going to package all my water and stuff. The problem is it takes so many machines and so much power to package it that it's actually less efficient because of the power cost. So your power cost quadruples or even more because you're packaging everything. But your transferring is going to be faster, but your cost is higher. And the whole point of what you're doing is trying to get power. So doing it at a higher rate just to package it drops it way down. And I've done packaging before, and we'll try it in here again. We're going to try it on all the various ones. We'll try it on water. We'll try it on oil. We'll try it on, because some of this stuff is really far away. So we'll try it, you know, in that stuff that's really far away, because that would be a better transfer. Now, actually, the ultimate transfer in this game, everybody, is to use no floor holes or floor walls or any of that stuff. Or holes in walls and stuff, and just run the line. If you just run the pipes and just run the conveyor belts, that is the most rock solid way of doing any factory, absolutely. But it is not the most efficient way and not the most useful and less resource intensive. The less resource-intensive way is to use your trains. And have your trains basically transport the liquid because it costs less power and costs less of your most valuable resource and your ultimate power, your time. Because if I spent a lot of time building that packaging, then it would cost me more in my time than the value of how much it's worth, right? So this is not very far. Now, really far away, that would be more of a value because then you don't have to wait for it to grab the actual the actual fluid, because you could transfer it at a higher rate. You could transfer 2 of them in at the same time on a 1200 belts, and you'd be coming in at 2400. Where the maximum you could do on oil would be 2 600s, which would be 1200. So 2400 versus 1200. So obviously it's double the amount at overall speed if you could do an item versus a fluid or a gas. So you could totally do that. You can totally can. Just know that comes at a higher power cost. That's about it. I could use DHL. I'm going to use Kismet delivery services or Tycoon delivery services. That's what I should name the train. Tycoon delivery services, the one that goes way out there. Because again, we put up our radar towers and that lets us see where all the nodes are, everybody. That's how come I can see the nodes on the map. That's what those radar towers do, and they're incredibly useful. So when we go way out here to get this oil, everybody, obviously running that back on a pipeline, which I totally would do, on a past playthrough, running that all the way down and running that over here is a giant undertaking. It's a massive amount of resources plus a massive amount of time. The great thing about trains is, 1, they're really fun, and 2, they reduce the overhead of your time of building whatever it is you need to build that infrastructure to deliver it where you want it to go. So speaking of building infrastructure, let's go ahead and get our train station. Now, our train station doesn't matter which way it goes because I'm going to have it actually turn around here in a bit. But we're going to put our train station at the end here. Now, again, this is a 5x5 block. You can see I have yellow down the center. That represents where the train's going to go. And the red represents the train itself. Now, here's what's going to happen. This train is going to be coming back from dropping off the oil. And it's going to be coming down here, and it's going to want to grab the thing. Now, I could put it in the front, by the way, and just add one to my other trains and whatnot. We'll see how it all works out in the end. But I always find it's easier if you have multiple trains and you already have something established, like your oil, to go in and put in empty stations, right, or empty platforms here. So you have an empty platform, and we need 1 for the first oil canister, 2 for the next one. Yeah, I thought that was going to be a little close. And then 3. It's kind of hard to judge the size of this stuff sometimes. And then there's number 3. So when this thing pulls into the station, it's going to have room for the 3 oil cars behind it, right? So they're just going to sit there and not do anything because they're hopefully emptied out over there. And then the next thing it's going to do is it's going to actually collect the resource that we want here, in this case, nitrogen. And so we're going to bring that nitrogen from down there. Now, again, we could probably move this up just a little bit as well. So, again, I'll just kind of keep reevaluating and then kind of moving it up and trying to line it up. This way I can bring that straight up and then right into the thing. And that's what we want to do. So we'll take the train station back out again, and we'll extend this again by the 5. So I can go F, middle mouse button to pick up the F, blueprint. Oh, okay. F, blueprint, middle mouse button. There we go, to pick up the blueprint that's already there, and then I can put it down. So it's kind of like you're taking it out, but then you're actually picking it up and then using it on the thing. Now, I could also put it in my bar down there, but that's just really a cool function, I think. Okay, so we realized that that was too far, and we're still about, let's say, right there. Now, another great way of doing this, by the way, is just put a power pole there. Just put a power pole there. It'll tell you, about right there. And then we can go ahead and move this up. And we missed it by about, let's say 2 stations. So we'll move it up about, let's say 4 blocks or so, roughly. Keep it right in the center here. And make sure that that is eventually lining up back here. Forget how I have my other train lines run. Do I have them running? I think I have them running in the centers. The centers between the foundations. I forget. I got to go back and look. Look how good I am at my job. Yes, in the centers of the foundation. So when this comes out, it's going to turn and it's going to go right along here. So that station is actually going to be offset so I can make the turnaround later. So I got to take that into consideration as well. So this train's going to come along and we'll want to move this station over so it's lined up as well in this direction. And then we'll line it up in the length direction as well. So let's say right there, but we want that to be over just a bit to line up to our current thing. Now again, look at this direction. Oh, wrong direction. I want it to go the other way, like this. Hit H. Looks good. Going in the right direction. All right, we'll say good there. And then again, we'll go in and we'll use our empty platforms. On the other side, right when I clicked it. Sometimes that's a little annoying. All right. It's hard. It's because I was moving while I'm doing it. I'm going to move off to the side here. And just take a look. There's number 2. There's number 3. And then we'll look. Oh, look at that. Oh, very nice. Very nice. And then our fluid platform, which is basically also your gas platform. Perfectly lined up. Very nice. Again, see? This is why I like to commentate on what I'm doing, so you guys get an idea of why I'm doing it. It doesn't matter what I'm doing if you don't get the why I'm doing it. So there we go. TDS, exactly. Tycoon Delivery Service. I like it. That's it. Copyright Kismet. There we go. We'd be just like the by the way, let's see how I can add this in here. You can merge it in wherever you have it cut, by the way, you can merge it in. Especially if you use a block signal, you can actually cut the rail line and then merge your lines in like this, which is super cool, I think. Now, if I go back here and I try to attach, that's too far back there. But I guess we could just have some fun and have it where it diverts the rail automatically. Now, here's the trick, everybody. Whenever you're going into a corner, you want to the first block is your turn block, right? Your edge block. And then you want to go back by 2. So right here is where you want to have your block signal. So we're going to go ahead and just put our block signal right here, like this. And what that does is that actually cuts it into its own segment. It actually cuts the piece. So you can actually take that piece out. Now that's its own segment. It's also its own segment for when the trains are coming in. So if something's in this segment and it's right behind it, it won't go in there. Now, the thing that we can do is we can go ahead and bring this one forward. And I always do the straight edges first because it's just so much easier, everybody. So again, count this one as number 1, and you're going to back up by 1 block. And then you're going to back up by 2 more to make it into a nice curve like this. There we go. And then we did the same thing here. This is our 1 block, and we went back by 2. And now, if you've never done this before, it is super awesome where you can go in and try to attach multiple train lines to the same train. Isn't that cool? It is pretty awesome, everybody. Again, this is some of the stuff we're going to get into, a little bit more advanced train stuff. Now, we don't necessarily need the block signal anymore because we're going to take that out. This way, this whole line is part of that line. See, it's all part of that orange. And so what's going to happen is this train's going to come along, and it's just going to go straight. Now, it actually will automatically do the toggle switch on its own. Now, I could put a separate train on the train line that does not pick up the oil, that only picks up, only goes down there, picks that up, comes back, uses the same train line, and then runs it there. Now, when you're going into a turn, though, into any turn where you're coming in or out of those lines and you're merging into the line, make sure that you do have block signals, because it's whenever you're going into a turn, you want to block it so nothing can go into that turn so your things don't collide. That's the whole point of that, everybody, is whenever you're going into a turn. So when it returns and it's coming back and it's going to cross over this line to get back onto this line, that's the most dangerous time, because you don't want this to crash into the train going that way, and you don't want this to crash the train there. Now, I find that the smartest thing to do is not do that at all and make the train go up over the other train and come up over it and come down. Now, in real life, that's really expensive to do. But in game, it's cheap. You can do it no problem. Just build yourself a little bridge. It comes up and over the train, so these trains can keep running, no problem. And it comes up over the train and then comes down and then hits the train from this side. So you're not crossing over the tracks all the time. Now, you totally can do it. You can actually make it where it does it. But for logistics reasons, it's actually way smarter to build a bridge, and that's why they do that a lot in life, where they have the train up high, and then they have a road going underneath. Because otherwise, every time the train comes along, and I'm sure you guys are running into those roads as well, when a train comes along, you're just sitting there, and you could be sitting there for like an hour, because some of those trains are really, really long. And I've sat at train tracks for easy 30 minutes, everybody. For easy 30 minutes, and basically turned around and left. And so did everybody else, because we never saw the end of it. We could look down the thing. We could not see the end of the train. We're like, nah, we're out of here. And now I learned as I got older, everybody, that, the thing you want to look at is how many engines it has. You look at how many engines it has, that's about how long that train's going to be. Very long. Because, of course, the longer the train, the more efficient it is for them to take the train back and forth and deliver all those goods. The more goods they can take in a single round, the more value it is overall. The more value they're making. So this will be pretty easy. So we could actually put a separate train that just goes down here and then basically just turns around and comes back and drops it off at the other station we're going to put there, right? And this is not very far, by the way. I could just run that pipe up, run it underneath, and run it over there. But we're going to be doing some advanced trains. Plus, this train is going to eventually go on to get a bunch of other resources off in that direction. And we're going to have a bunch of turnouts here, which go out and grab a bunch of resources. And then the train is going to get more and more complex. We'll have more trains on this particular line. We'll also show you how to manage those trains. And there's actually several different types of signals, by the way, when it comes to trains. There's the block signal, and then there's a path signal. When you're getting more complex interactions with train lines, you definitely want to use your path signals, because that lets you know whether there's something there and whether it's okay for the train to then enter that part of the track. That's very, very useful. And that's when you're having things that are multiple directions. There's one's coming this way, one's going that way. And you'll know it's working if your trains don't crash. If your trains crash, you got to fix some stuff. That's how you know. Remember that all of these are directional too. So when I put a thing here, if I put a block signal right over here, then that says, hey, if you enter that thing, see, look how it turned red, and then when it clears that, not yet. You see, it hasn't cleared it yet, so it can't enter that area yet. Until that signal clears. And actually, that won't clear until it hits the other signal way on the other side. But the thing is we don't want it to be blocked the whole time. We want it to be able to go to the right too, right? So we'll go ahead and move this block signal way up here so that it's about the length of the train, everybody. You want to make sure you leave extra room about the length of the train so that the train can move all the way forward and be out of the way. And then here comes the next train. And we're going to watch that block signal again. Right now it's green. And we're going to watch it when it goes into this thing, because it's not going to divert to the right. I mean, I could switch the signal, but it's just going to switch it back. Here comes the train. It's going to go straight. And now it's blocked. But once it hits the next block signal, watch what happens to this one. It turns back to green, because we made a segment there that says, okay, if it's on this segment, then don't send any more trains. But if it's past this segment, then it's okay for the train to go. Again, this is just adding more complex. So when you're going into a curve, you want to have your block signal, right? You don't want to just crash into your train behind there. Also, you want to have your block signals before your station. So we can just middle mouse button that, or I actually have it on my bar down there. Before your stations. Now, typically, when I'm doing a push-pull train, I'll also have an engine on the back. This way it can go in both directions, so the engine will hang out of the train. So I'll typically put it back further. Now, sometimes, by the way, this thing is really funky. It doesn't, like, flip the way you want it to go, and you have to rotate your mouse and do all of that. I think it should snap to foundations, personally. Snap to where the foundations are, and then also onto the track. But most of the time, if your train is the exact length of your station, you can just put it at the beginning and the end of your station, right? But if you have anything hanging off the side of the station, like another engine or something like that, then you want to move this back so it doesn't come in and crash into the back of your train. So this one right here is going to be just the actual train station itself. Now, another thing that we're going to do is make a turnaround so it can turn around and go back, and then we can also make it go straight if we want to later. Now, I already did a blueprint of that, and I still forgot to put that up for my patrons. I apologize, everybody. I'll probably do it the first of the month now. I try to post a bunch of stuff over for my patrons to try all the stuff out that I'm doing as well. I'm a busy guy, everybody. I've been streaming 8, 10, 12, 15, 16 hours as well. Why do you build in the sky? So high in the sky. Because there is nothing obscuring my trains. You see any land mass obscuring my trains? Now, I did build down below earlier. You can see I've got a train down there and a whole bunch of stuff way down there that I built. But when I'm building out a train station, the obvious thing to do is remove anything that's going to slow down my trains. And I don't like anything that slows down my trains. I want my trains to be at 100% speed, no incline, no decline, all of it always straight. It goes at the maximum speed, 24/7, never stops running. If you have inclines going like this, which are fun to do, by the way, I've done those in the past, where you go in between different areas and you have them going up and down. I've even had them go into tunnels and caves and stuff like that. That's really fun as well. If you like doing that, you go ahead and do it in your playthrough. But for me, I like my stuff, and this is going to be a mega build, everybody. It's going to be absolutely massive. So we're getting every single node in the game, and we're going to bring it back over here, and we're going to process every single node in the game. We're going to go look at every single cave. We're going to grab every Mercer Sphere, every Summer Sloop. We're going to grab everything there is to do, maybe even go in and blow up every single tree in the game. I don't know. That last one is a maybe, but the rest of it is for sure. And so we're playing it at a mega level, the maximum level now that it's finally been released. I've played through the game 30, 40, 50 times. I don't remember. It's been so many times. And I've played it since it originally came out. I played every single update along the way. It is one of my favorite games of all time, and I've been gaming for 50 years. So that's really saying something, everybody. That's really giving it the biggest praise I can give it. It is absolutely a genre-defining game, and I absolutely love playing it. And you can play it over and over, and you can play it different ways. You can play it here, there. Now, I don't play those in sequence, everybody. I play it for a little bit. I take a break. I wait for an update. And then I play it again. I wait for an update, whatnot. Now, this playthrough is the playthrough. This is the playthrough that we're going to play all the way to the nth degree, and that's why I do it way up like this. Now, eventually, I'll come back, and maybe if I feel inspired, I'll make supports and all that kind of fun stuff, and then also embellish stuff. I am your official Fix-It corporate trainer, by the way, Kismet. Thank you very much. I'm here at Fix-It corporate headquarters to help you learn how to be efficient, because I do not want you to get lasered from space, because they are watching you, and if you're being inefficient, you might get lasered. Now, that's not my department. I don't snitch on people if they're being inefficient and they're out there building really super fantastic bases. That's not my department. My job is to make sure you don't get lasered from space and to be highly efficient as well. Won't you hit the object placing limit? I absolutely will. I absolutely will. And that is part of the challenge. That is part of the fun, is to try to see where that limit is and where we can work within that limit, and just do it to the nth degree, everybody. Just to do it to its maximum degree. And we're going to try to get every node. Maybe we won't. Maybe we won't be able to build it all. We'll see. That's all part of the fun. Again, no spoilers. Don't tell me. Don't tell me what the limit is. Don't tell me what's going to happen. Again, part of the fun is the journey in the game. Just jumping to the end is not fun to me, everybody. What's fun is the part from A to Z. By the way, if you notice, see how my character is floating? When you create an off branch of a train track, it actually runs the power down that train track. This is actually powered right now. I can run a train down here if I wanted to, which is pretty cool, I think, that even offshoot branches of your train tracks bring you power. Now, one of the things that I can do, and I'm going to do right over here, is I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to go ahead and put my power right over here. Now, instead of running the power and chaining it along, I can chain it along using the power stations. And so what I like to do is I like to use this little tower platform, which I think is amazing. I love the fact they added this to the game, everybody. I played this game before there were trains, everybody, way back in the original game. When it first came out, day one, week one, I played this game and have played it over and over again over all the years, and absolutely loved every minute of it. But that's a hard thing to do. That's a hard thing to do in any game, to make it replayable at the degree of this game. Now, of course, you know, again, not playing it every day, all day for 12 hours a day, everybody. That would suck the fun out of it. So, at least for me. But you can see down there, we got that going. Now, we also have our little zip line right over here, and we're going to go for it. Let's go. Oh, got to get down. Down, down. Whee, go. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Grab it. Luckily, I got it before. Grab the thing. Grab it. My guy's a little crazy today. Hey, grab the thing. Does not want to grab it. Oh, there it was. Why am I floating? Because I'm real close to my power there. I hit the space bar using my hover pack. All right, we're going to hit space bar. Okay, space bar and then press the button. Double C. Double C. There we go. No? Fine, we'll just float down. Fine. Bring it. Miss me. What you got? What you got? Come on. You ain't got nothing. You ain't got nothing. Take that. All right. Gas me, huh? I'll show you what happens when you gas Kismet. Over here, Novelist. I got thousands of these, everybody. You should see my storage up there. I got 10 boxes deep of these. Yes, and a whole bunch of other resources as well. Hey, take that. Back away this gas out of here. Why am I losing power there? It's kind of weird. I shouldn't be losing power because I'm by my tower over here. What's that tower losing power? My tower of power is losing power. See, this one has power, but weirdly that tower is not giving me the power that I need. Huh, weird. Always funky things with this game. Now, see, look. Oh, no, that's not giving me power either. How am I getting power down here, then? Okay, that's really weird. Oh, up there! Ah, ha, ha. It's because I came through here with my... That's the thing to give me power. This actually is not giving me any power right now. I probably didn't connect it to the station. D. That's why I couldn't go down the clicky thing. Because it didn't have any power to say. Well, luckily I have a backup power. All right, there we go. That was fail. All right, that was a big fail. All right, that's why I couldn't go up the thing. All right. Click the thing. Now, this is one of the things that I learned that I was shocked in this playthrough that I never knew. Come here, you. It does not want to let me. What is going on with my power line thing today? I think it's because it's so vertical. Okay, that one's working. Maybe because it's so vertical, it won't let me get on it. Yeah, we might want to put that at an angle. All right, we'll try this. I love trying new stuff. All right, we're going to put this over here. We're going to connect this one to that one. There we go. If you didn't know, you can actually go back up. Because it has like little wheels on the thing that wheels you back up to the top. I never knew that, everybody. I never even tried it. I never even thought of doing it. But now I don't have to make the big wall that I use to float up and down or use a hypertube. This is probably the most useful feature of the thing, to go back up from really far down as well. Right over here. See, right over there. Very nice. Now, I foolishly forgot to do this. There we go. I forgot to connect the train station. All right. It's actually better that we learn that, too, that this will not let me go straight down. It will not let me connect to that. But if I connect to this, it will connect to that just fine. It's got to have a bit of an angle. Now we know. Luckily, I'd run another power line, too. Otherwise, I'd be walking all the way back to my thing over there. All right, now we can take all this out. We'll take all this out, this here. And we'll just use this as our central. Oh, down here. There's two connections, by the way. There's the large connection at the top for running your big power lines, and then there's the connection at the bottom for the smaller power lines. And the great thing is to troubleshoot your stuff. And you'll make mistakes, and you'll say, oops, I forgot that thing. I forget a lot of things, everybody. I'm older. It happens. I forget things that I just did 5 minutes ago or 5 seconds ago. Sometimes. So I just roll with it. If you have an issue, solve your issue, roll on. Like this. Oh. All right. Looks good. Okay, cleared that out. Let's get rid of this over here, too. These are really satisfying to blow up. They used to be where you couldn't get rid of those. But it's very satisfying to wipe those things out. All right, this is what we're here for. Okay, now, if you've never seen this part, everybody, this is our resource extraction for our resource well right here. Now, you have your wells, which is the part at the end here, right? These little things. And then you have your larger... What's going on with my earphones today? No, stay in there, earphones. Relax. And then you have your pressurizer, which is the thing that goes in the center. Now, obviously, you're going to need some power to make that go. And so we'll power that up. And right now, it can go ahead and do 840 per minute. But you know we're not going to do that because we overclock all extractors in one way or another. So we're going to go ahead and put that baby up to 2100 per minute. I love their animations, everybody. Pretty awesome. Okay. Now, I don't think I've ever tried this before, but I'm going to try it today and see if we can use my trick for the ultimate alignment with your extractor here. Now, some people use the rail thing, but what it does, it makes it hang over, and I really don't like that. When you're doing an extractor and the end of it hangs over the edge of the foundation, I like it where it's actually in the foundation. Then I can put a wall there, and it's perfectly lined up to both foundations. If you've never seen that, I do have some tips on how to do perfect alignment of your foundations to your extractors, both your oil extractors, your mining extractors, and now we're going to try it on the pressurizer. So what I'm going to do is basically click right there. I'm going to go to the side here and see which way it goes. Okay. So let's say right here, we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll say like that. Now, is that straight? Doesn't seem straight to me. I don't like it. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's see, if you look at the way that the, 10 minutes. If you look at the way that the box is, that looked pretty straight compared to that box, but not necessarily to the actual device. But usually our mining extractors is about 4 beyond the size of the thing. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. I'm betting it's going to be 5, but we'll go ahead and try that and see how that looks with our foundation. Now, once you put that down, you can snap a foundation to it like this, and then you can see that it actually lines up to our pressurizer. Oop, there goes, it's doing that thing again where it just makes me float off into oblivion. It's like it gets locked, and my guy just goes, ah! It just starts floating away, like I'm in Willy Wonka or something. But as you can see, we can go ahead and line this up beautifully to the foundation of our extractor here. I'm not a big fan of that. I would say that I would probably want it to be back or forward by 2 more, so that this one here, that this one is out beyond this edge. So let's try that, and then we'll hit G to just get rid of the foundations over here. And we'll get rid of this one and this one. And so we'll try that again. And we'll get our metal beam, by the way. That's what I'm using. I'm holding down control and I'm rotating it to the left and then left clicking, going to the side, seeing where that lines up. Let's say there. 1, 2. All right, calm down. Calm down. Just stand there then if you're going to be crazy. All right, right there. We'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Because the foundations, when I'm putting foundations down on the mineral extractors, it is, or resource extraction, it's 4. And then when you're doing oil extractors, it's 5 little snaps of the thing. And this one looks like it's more like 6 or more. Ooh, that actually is beautifully perfect. Holy mackerel. Dang, I'm good at my job. I'm good. Nobody else is doing this, everybody. I've never seen anyone else align it via that and align it so perfectly that the whole entire machine is on there. Now, it's not centered, so the next thing we need to do is we need to figure out the centering. So let's say 4 more in there. So we're going to say 4 more out, like so. So we were at 6. So we'll do 10. So again, get your metal beam. Metal beam is one of the first things I unlock, everybody. It is incredibly useful. And again, get it in the center of how you're lining it up across that box and trying to line it up straight. I'm going to eyeball the center there. It's kind of like one side or the other side center. That's okay. We'll left click, and we're going to go to the side, and then we'll call it this. We'll call that base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, let's see how that works out. And foundations, and I use the 1 meters. And we're going to go there, and then we're going to zoop this across. And it looks like a little far on the backside. It's a little far on the backside there. So let's go to 8. And I'll do this till I have the magic number. And I don't think I've ever tried to do this with these. Normally I just put them on the ground. No big deal. But with these, we're going to go ahead and do it. I just thought of something too. We could actually do a sub thing so we don't have to keep doing this over and over. You could do this and then just have a starter one there. And then you could go ahead and then count this out. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's actually even more efficient right there. I like that even better. Again, try to adapt your stuff like that. And then back here. Then across this side. And that is beautifully in there. Look at that. Very nice. How we looking left to right? Good, good, good. Now again, if you wanted to align it, you would then rotate the thing so it's more aligned to how the sides are. But that looks pretty well centered to me. Looks pretty good because I'm looking at also these little side areas here. And then front to back, left to right. Okay, the magic number is 8. So now we know, everybody. I'm going to put that down before I forget, too. Let me go put that in my thing over here. Let's see, resource extraction. Let's see, item, resource, what is it, miner. Miner equals, how many did I say, 4? 4 metal snaps, I'll call it. The oil extractor equals 8 snaps. No, equals 5 snaps. And then this thing here, which is, let's double check its name. Well pressurizer. Well pressurizer equals 8 snaps. All right, so that's how you perfectly align your resource well thing. Now I just discovered it as well because I never bothered to try. Now, the real question is, can we take the pressurizer out and put the pressurizer back on top? Which you can do with most things. I've never bothered to try. I can also rotate it, by the way, so if I want it to be better aligned, like this way, like this, on there, I could, but I kind of like the way I had it. I think that's pretty rock solid. Just like that. And yeah, so it sits up a little bit higher in there as well. And of course, we want to take out our items that got us started here. And our thing here, and then that there. Now, what this does, everybody, is it also gives you the ability to build blueprints around this shape. So once I align it all, and I got the basic shape, I could build a blueprint and just literally snap the blueprint right into where my extractors are. A great example is if you wanted to, say, have a built-in storage for your gas, right, to start with. And that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to show you how to do it right now. First thing we need is we need a flat spot. And then we just happen to have one way up there. But we could also have one over here if we just simply kind of relocated some of this trees. Right over here. Let's do it. You control on the shard in the inventory while plugging in the cloud. Yes, that does. It does that with all materials, by the way. If you want to move all of a same type into something, you totally can. You can also do it in the hub as well. So if you're transferring, you just use control. By the way, I'm the reason why that's in Planet Crafter, which is another fantastic game, by the way. I highly recommend that. Done by just a small studio. It's like Subnautica meets space. It's pretty awesome. But I asked them to add it to the game because it is such a useful feature. And here, if you just hold down control and click on this, it takes all of your motors and moves them over. So yeah, that's something they had in the game for a very, very long time. For a massively long time. It's absolutely fantastic. But also watch that Backseat Gaming, but I do appreciate those tips. Watch out that you don't get banned for Backseat Gaming. Again, I appreciate it. Don't think that I don't appreciate it, but one of the things that, the reason why I ask people not to backseat game and say, Kismet, do this, Kismet, click on this, or this is how you do this, is because there's a whole lot of things that I'm going to learn in between the time in which I say, oh, how do I do this? And this is how I do this. But there's all this stuff in here that I'm going to learn. And the fact that it's something that I have to solve makes me remember it more than if someone just tells me. So that's why I ask people not to tell me, because it takes out that middle part, the really fun part where you're trying to figure it out. And I feel like that's my favorite part of any game, is the exploration, the trying, the failing, and overcoming that, and then boom, building the thing that you were trying to build. So that's why I ask people not to backseat game or say, Kismet, do this, or Kismet, do this, or this is how you do this. I'm typically just commentating on what I'm thinking. 10 seconds. Okay, game. I don't want to, but I'll get out. My server's going to restart. Restarts every day at midnight. Okay, everybody, that means we got a little bit of time while that's restarting to take a bit of a break here. So we're going to pull up my favorite here for you guys to do in the chat while I'm taking a break. Some words on stream. Now, of course, I'm streaming to 6 different platforms at the same time, everybody, multi-streaming in 1080 HD. That means instead of just uploading at 3,000, which most 720 streamers do, or at 6,000, which most 1080 streamers do, that's the resolution, I upload at 6 platforms at 1080, which is 36,000 upload speed, everybody. I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. My whole entire neighborhood dims whenever Kismet goes streaming. Just kidding. It might. I don't know. I'm not looking out there. It might happen. But basically, I'm just showing you guys some love wherever you're at. Now, sadly, this Words on Stream only works on Twitch. So if you go to twitch.tv/Kismet, you can play along. Sadly, it doesn't work anywhere else. But I would love it to work on all the platforms, and we can all work together. That would be amazing. But we're going to go ahead and turn this on. I'll turn the music on for you as well. Pretty fun little music. I love the music to this. So what you need to do is descramble the words. Now, when you do descramble the words, like right there, see they descramble the word and you get it right. What's going to happen? You're going to see a little lock. And when that little lock comes up, that means you got a word right, but you're going to be basically have to wait to put another word in, as you saw there. You have to wait to put another word in because it can't just be one person. So you all need to work together in the chat. Again, twitch.tv/Kismet. And you can all work together in the chat. If I see you guys working together, I'll shower you guys with a bunch of Kiscats, which you can use for the giveaways. I literally give away thousands of dollars worth of stuff because I have massive sponsors like Bethesda and Bethesda Gear and Elgato and yada, 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 yada. You can see them all down below on my Twitch channel down there. They are awesome, and I appreciate each and every one of them, including G Portal, who is my server host. Also, let me hook you guys up with that as well. So you guys can go over there, get your own server, which will give you the power of time, which is the ultimate power right over here. Because my server runs 24/7, everybody. It runs 24/7. It restarts itself every day at midnight. But it runs 24/7 pretty much, and it can just keep making resources while I'm not even there. It's actually been running for about 1,400 hours now, which is awesome. And that means you're paying like a couple bucks to use 13 or 1,400 hours worth of power and servers that you didn't have to pay for, other than the few bucks to have it. So I think it's like the best deal going, everybody. It's absolutely awesome that you can log on the server, have it where the server is just running even when you're not in game, which is cool. And then, of course, also you're playing with friends. They can jump in and work on a little bit when they have time, and then they got to go to work or whatever they got to do. Then you jump in and you work a little bit on it. So really great for that as well, for multiplayer. Absolutely. All right, let's go ahead and start this up, everybody. And then, again, I'll be back here in just a bit. Make sure you got to press all the buttons. And away we go. I'm going stealth boy. Bye-bye.